All right, Math 208, Week 5, using the power rules to simplify expressions. So what this means is when you have 6 to the third power raised that to the second power, what that means is the inside is being raised to the second power. So that means 6 to the third times 6 to the third. So that 2 means the inside is being multiplied twice, once here, once here. But what does 6 to the third power mean? Well, that means 6 times 6 times 6, and that time sign comes down, and then you've got another 6 times 6 times 6. So all of that means 6 raised to the 6th power. All right, so this 6 cubed becomes these 6's right here. This 6 cubed becomes these 6's, so you end up with 6 to the 6th power. Same kind of problem, so only now they're giving us just variables. So z to the 4th power and raise that to the 6th power. So what does that mean? Well, that means the inside is being raised to the 6th power. So we're going to have this z to the 4th 6 times. So it's going to be z to the 4th times 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 z to the 4th. So we have 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because of that 6 right there. So this 6 says we are supposed to have 6 things being multiplied. But really, each one of these things is 4 z's being multiplied by each other. So this right here means z times z times z times z. This means we've got z times, z times z times z times z. And then this means we have z times z times z times z. And then this, so you get the idea, right? So I've done 3 of them, so I'm going to have all these more, right? So I think well, let's just keep going. So let's see, this is 1, and there they are. This is another one, and there they are. This is 1, and there they are. So let's keep going. So now we've got this one, which is z times z times z times z, and don't let those get you confused and thinking that they're 2's. And then we've got this guy, so we've got z times z times z times z, and those are the red ones right there. And then lastly, we finally have this guy, which is another 4 z's, so that's going to be z times z times z times z. So what do we have all together? I'm going to have to zoom out so you can see the whole stinking thing. All right, what do we have all together? How many z's do we have? Well, we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So we have z raised to the 24th power, and that is our answer. Now we have this guy being raised to the 2nd power. So it's nothing fancy, it's a negative. So inside that parenthesis, we have 6p being raised to the 2nd power. So that 2nd power means you have 2 of these inside things being multiplied. So that's going to be negative 6p times negative 6p. And then using the commutative property, we know that negative 6 times negative 6, that gives us 36. And p times p is p squared. And that is our answer. That actually wasn't so bad. All right. mn inside being raised to the 3rd power. So that means we've got mn times mn times mn. All right. And I didn't really need to put that little multiplication symbol there. So I want you to see that this 3rd power means you have mn right here, and mn right there. using the commutative property, if we wanted to, we could say, we could put the m's together and we could put the n's together. So what do we have? We have m to the third power times n to the third power. And we don't need that little multiplication symbol inside, so that is our answer. M cubed times n cubed. All right. So I'm going to zoom in here. So we're going to use the power rules. So we've got c over h, and yes, it's written as a fraction, but we don't have to freak out. It raised to the fourth power simply means we have c over h being multiplied 4 times. So that's c over h times c over h times c over h times c over h. And all of that ends up equaling c to the fourth power over h to the fourth power. And there is your answer. Now, you'll notice over here, it says type your fraction, use exponential notation. So basically what they're saying is they want you to get rid of those parentheses and they want you to write it down. And so as it is, we can actually go back over here, and that is the answer you're going to put into My Math Lab. All right, so we have another fraction. It looks ugly, but it's really just not a whole lot of work at all. So it's 4 over a plus b being raised to the second power. This to the second power means whatever's inside, we're going to have to write it out twice. So that's going to become 4 over a plus b times 4 over a plus b. And then, so what's our answer? Well, going across the numerator, 4 times 4, that's 4 squared. We could have put 16 because 4 times 4 is 16, but let's write 4 squared. And then down here in the denominator, we've got a plus b being multiplied twice. So down here, it's going to be a plus b, and you got to put it inside parentheses, being raised to the second power. If you forget the parentheses, that exponent is only going to be attached to just the b rather than the whole quantity. And so there is your answer. Now, if My Math Lab doesn't like it, you might have to type in 16 there instead. And the last one. Now, here's the big cool thing. This looks like it's a lot of work, but it's actually nothing, really. You'll notice this exponent 0, okay? Now, anything raised to the 0th power, let's say 7 raised to the 0th power, that's 1. 9 raised to the 0th power, that's 1. N raised to the 0th power is 1. Smiley face raised to the 0th power is 1. That's the key thing. So when we have this thing that says 5 times and then a to the 9th power, b to the 6th power, raised to the 0th power, all right? So this 0 exponent is connected to this quantity in here inside these parentheses, not the 5. And so this 0 exponent means this value, this whole thing right here, is equal to 1. And so the 5 is still over here, so that means 5 times 1. Well, what's 5 times 1? It's 5. So that whole amount of work, that whole ugly looking equation right here is just equal to 5.